Alrighty, welcome to those who are just joining us. Thank you for attending the virtual College Exploration STEM Days in partnership with Cachet. I have Illinois Institute of Technology here. Thank you for attending this information session. I'm going to kick us off with some housekeeping items first. There are more sessions available through Thursday evening on our schedule. So if you're interested in registering for more sessions, please check back on our website. And when you do register for these sessions, you do get a barcode in that confirmation email. But know that that barcode is not necessary for any of the virtual events you partake in. And all of these sessions are being recorded and posted to our website shortly after the session concludes. So whether you want to rewatch a session you participated in or watch one you may have missed, just check back on our website for that information as well. And then you'll notice that you'll be able to see and hear the presenters. They cannot see or hear you. This is webinar style format. So any questions you have throughout the presentation, feel free to type those into the Q&A box, and the presenters will do their best to address those throughout the presentation. So without further ado, I will pass it over to Illinois Tech to introduce themselves. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Well, it's great to be here and we really appreciate it. I'll get us started off. So my name is Natalia Linares. I am an undergraduate admission counselor with Illinois Tech, also known as Illinois Institute of Technology. And then here we have Will Koff. He's also one of the graduate admission counselors. So we'll be tag teaming the presentation and going back and forth. Feel free to chat any questions you have in the chat and we will get started. So a little bit about us. You know, our university brings in a collection of students from various perspectives and backgrounds. A lot of times these personalities that gravitate to us tend to be people who are entrepreneurs, people who are innovators, interdisciplinary thinkers, hands-on learners. So if you should fall into one of those categories, then Illinois Tech might be a really great fit for you. So moving forward, I would like to explain a little bit more about our university. We're going to start off on a bigger scale, and then we're going to move on to a more Illinois Tech specific scale. So when we're looking at our university, we're located on the south side of Chicago, nestled between the neighborhoods of Bridgeport and Bronzeville. So as you can see on the map, all those different colored lines are our transportation system. It's called the Chicago Transit Authority. What makes it really great is because of our location, we're really accessible to all of Chicago. So whether you're interested in exploring our food scene, we have so much great food. If you're looking for pizza, ice cream, Italian, Japanese, Chinese, so many different styles of food, all delicious. Or if you are a learner and want to go to the Museum of Science and Industry, the planetarium, the aquarium, the Museum of Fine Arts, there's a lot of options for you here in Chicago. Now, one thing that's included with our tuition is the U-Pass. So that U-Pass gives you access to all those different color lines, which is our train system and our bus system. As you can notice on the bottom of the screen, you'll see the McCormick Tribune Campus Center, and that is where the Green Line station or the Green Line train passes right through our building. So as you can see, very accessible, very easy to get around. So now let's dive into a little bit more about our school specifics. So when you're looking at Illinois Tech, we're a private university. So at the undergraduate level, we're about 3,000 students, but then we have a heavy graduate population. And what that means is undergraduate students have this really awesome exposure to research opportunities and learning from older students. When you're looking at about our undergraduate population, we are small but mighty. So on the scale of universities, we're not as large as some other universities, but within our small population, that really allows for a great learning environment because that 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio will allow you opportunities to connect with professors, to connect with peers, and really gain the most out of your experiences. Then when you're looking at the campus as a whole, we have over 130 countries represented on campus and all of the states of the United States represented. So that really makes for a diverse experience and fun opportunities. Now, one thing I like to draw attention to is our retention rate. When you're looking at retention rates, it's really great to keep in mind that acceptance rates, right? Because you're applying to colleges, but retention rates really show how well a university is doing at keeping their students or retaining them from their first year to their second year. Here at Illinois Tech, we really pride ourselves on that 88% retention rate, because that really talks more about how well our students like the school and how well they're doing at Illinois Tech. From here, I'm going to pass it off to Will, and Will can definitely dive into more of the colleges.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, I am Will. I'm one of the admissions counselors. I work primarily with our West Coast applicants, and I live on the West Coast. So if anyone is tuning in from California, I am out here with you. But today I want to talk with you about the university and the individual colleges that make up the institution. So you can see we've got 5 individual colleges. And inside each of these colleges, you're going to find those majors that you might find for your individual home. There are about 45 plus, actually at this point. That number has gone up just a little bit, different majors that you could pursue at the institution, as well as over 50 minors. So almost every single major at the institution has at least one minor associated with it. And then there are a lot of options if you want to study across the curriculum. So say you want to be an engineering student, but you also love music, or maybe you're interested in psychology, you want to take some business courses. That's something that we not only encourage you to do, but require you to do at the university. So first up, I want to talk about the Armour College of Engineering. This is the largest of our colleges at the university. As you can see, lots of majors, lots of options in the Armour College. This is what we're primarily known for. For most students, they hear Illinois Tech and they automatically think engineering. That is a great thing, and we do have some really outstanding programs in this field. So I'm happy to show those to you, and definitely an area that you would want to explore if you're considering an engineering field. You want to think about Illinois Tech. We are home to the inventor of the portable cell phone. So if you're interested in electrical engineering, computer engineering, got a really awesome foundation for you to build on during your time at the university. If you want to do civil or architectural engineering, that's something that you can do at our university, and in part because of our relationship with the next college I'm going to talk about, which is our architecture school. In addition, before I get there though, I do want to mention our research and design program. So within the School of Engineering, we have an undergraduate research and design program. This allows you to start as early as your first year on campus to build out ideas related to one of our 4 themes. It could be energy, water, health, security, any of those 4 areas. This is a way for you to explore that, focus on that specific area within the context of your program. I mentioned architecture. That might be the other school that you know Illinois Tech for. We are home to a 5-year professional degree program in architecture, and we are really proud to trace our lineage back to Mies van der Rohe, the father of modernist architecture in the US. If you come to Illinois Tech, you're coming to an architectural sort of masterpiece. We have the largest collection of Mies buildings in the US, as well as the first building he built in the US, and the only religious building he ever built. So if any of what I just said about Mies van der Rohe gets you excited, Illinois Tech could be a great place for you. You do see that it is a 5-year program. The reason it's a 5-year program is because when you graduate, you're eligible to start your licensing process right away. You don't have to go on and get a master's degree if you come to Illinois Tech or any other 5-year undergraduate programs. These give you the exposure to that studio time that you need in order to be a licensed architect. Lots of specializations in this field as well. So if you want to explore one of those in a little bit deeper level, absolutely something you can do. Now is a really exciting time to be a student at Illinois Tech. We are very happy this fall to launch really 2 new colleges. One is sort of a reorganization. This is the newest one. This is the College of Computing. So at Illinois Tech, we've had computer science programs for many, many years. But what we did this year was we brought them all together. So everything that's sort of related to computing. You've got your cybersecurity, information technology, mathematics, statistics, and then your traditional CS programs as well, all within one school. That allows our students to connect with our professors at a little bit higher level. You're going to get to know them. You're going to be able to get connected to the research, all that kind of stuff. The other things you see listed here is going to be the the information technology management and the industrial technology management. These are slightly more applied programs. So if you like computer science, but the thought of doing another 2 years of higher level math is not super exciting to you, I would encourage you to think about our ITM program. It could be a great fit. You could work alongside CS graduates in a lot of those big name companies without doing that math background that you would need for a computer science degree. The other new college at the university is our Science and Letters School. So this one's a little different. We kind of merged some other schools together at the time that the College of Computing was created. The Lewis College of Science and Letters was also created. You can see a lot of majors on this screen. This is where you're going to find all of those traditional lab-based programs: biology, chemistry, physics. This is also the home for our more human science focused programs. So if you're interested in psychology, you'll see it's listed as psychological sciences at Illinois Tech. One of the reasons that we do that is you're going to get a very strong science-based approach. You're going to learn research, you're going to learn statistics, you're going to get that math and science foundation to study the field of psychology. You can also see this is a home to a lot of blended programs. So if you like computer science and you like biology, why not put them together? That's a field called bioinformatics, and we are one of the undergraduate programs, or one of the schools that have an undergraduate program in bioinformatics, which is not super common nationwide. Same thing goes in chemistry. If you like computational chemistry, that's an option. If you want to study forensics, you want to do medicinal chemistry, we have that depth of experience at Illinois Tech that you can do some of these more niche fields that you're not necessarily going to get at some institutions. This is also home to a more blended a more blended science and human science approach. So things like behavioral health and wellness. It looks at how do we use technology to help people make better health decisions. That's one of those sort of interesting blended programs. Others in things like global studies, consumer research, economic development, all of these that are more rooted in the human sciences, but we want you to have that strong background in the math and sciences to be a really good professional. Last at the university is the School of Business. Stewart School of Business is home to one undergraduate program. It's going to be the Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration. The thing that makes our program a little different, and one of the reasons that you might want to come study business at a tech school, is you're going to be learning alongside all of those other majors I just mentioned. So if you think you might want to work in the aerospace industry, but you don't necessarily want to design the planes yourself, why not come to Illinois Tech, study a business degree, and then also take some courses in aerospace engineering? Same thing goes for finance. Same thing goes for human resources. It's great to get exposed to those other fields. You can take some basic courses in, in computer science. You don't have to go full tilt and do a full computer science degree, but you can learn the concepts while also studying business and specializing in one of these areas. So that's definitely something I would encourage you to consider. And the last thing I want to mention here on the academics, I know I went through those very quickly, but I want to make sure we have time to talk about some of the other programs that we have here at the university. But the Accelerated Master's Program is one that I definitely don't want to pass up. At Illinois Tech, you can pursue both a bachelor's and a master's degree in only 5 years. This allows you to speed up your program a little bit, which is great. But most importantly, for a lot of students, it also allows you to pay slightly less than what you might normally pay for a master's program. We hold your undergraduate tuition through that 5th year. We also apply your undergraduate scholarships into that 5th year. So no matter what program you're interested in here at Illinois Tech, we have at least one pathway available in the accelerated master's programs for every single major. So I definitely encourage you to consider Illinois Tech for the accelerated master's programs, in addition to all of those great academic programs that I mentioned. You can find a much deeper look at all of those individual programs on our website, as well as breakdowns of the classes. So if you are somebody who wants to look and see, what does it look like today? What am I going to take in my first year? You want to see what you're taking 3rd, 4th year, maybe in this 5th year program. Jump on our website. All of that information is available, and we know that the folks who are tuning into these videos are usually those who want to get at a deeper level, and that's what you can find on our website, which is really great. Next up, Natalia is going to tell you a little bit more about some other parts of an Illinois Tech education that we have for students.
Awesome. Well, let's take a deeper dive into our education and what really makes us different compared to other STEM universities. So when you're looking at an Illinois Tech education, we have a couple different hallmarks. The first I want to talk about is called Introduction to the Profession, or the ITP course. And this course typically happens within your first semester to introduce you to the your field of choice. So this really gives you an opportunity to get that exposure to your major and to get that exposure to different possibilities within your major. So that way it acts as a safeguard before you invest too much time and too many resources. So what does that exactly look like? Well, for example, if you're interested in civil engineering, within the first month of classes, you might actually be right on campus in those bright orange vests, surveying the campus or doing as civil engineers would do in the field. Additionally, maybe you're interested in aerospace. Right off the bat within this class, you could be building a model airplane. So now, this happens primarily at the first semester. Let's see what happens in your later years at Illinois Tech. iPro. This is called the Interprofessional Project, and it's one of the most interesting things I find at Illinois Tech because it really emphasizes our collaborative nature, our interdisciplinary thinking, our innovation, and our entrepreneurship. So iPro projects typically happen in your third and fourth year, and they pull students from across colleges, so maybe Stewart School of Business, maybe Armour College of Engineering, to solve real world problems. Now, these real world problems are either defined by outside organizations coming into Illinois Tech or the students themselves. A great example is just this spring semester, given our lack of awareness surrounding COVID, students from computer science and computer engineering created an app. They called their iPro project the Epidemic Discovery and Recovery app, which allowed users to get real-time information both on a global level and a local level about everything developing in regards to COVID. So once again, we take what's given and we really collaborate and innovate together. Other examples include the White Sox coming in and asking for help in developing the home run tracking system. Others might include developing assistive technology for stroke victims, or maybe even a curb climbing wheelchair. So the options are endless and the opportunities are limitless. Now, when we dive into just what you have access to as an Illinois Tech student, something really great that we have right on campus, right at your fingertips, is called the Idea Shop. This is a 13,000 square foot facility, and it's really a playground for your imagination. You as a student can walk in and use any of the equipment. It's a prototyping lab space, so you'll have access to 3D printers, laser printers, wood cutters, and just thinking about that, let your imagination run wild. A great example, as you can see in the picture, is Dane Christensen. He was an alum of Illinois Tech. He looked at the Rubik's Cube. It was way too easy for him to solve. So he went on to the Idea Shop in his free time to develop the X Cube. And now, as he markets it as his own, he has a patent and it's sold in our bookstore at Amazon. So imagine yourself, you could be doing things like that at Illinois Tech as well. Nextly, let's talk about Elevate. Elevate is great because, one, it's an umbrella organization that provides experiential learning to Illinois Tech students. What I like to say, it really complements what you're learning in the classroom because you're going to get that real world experience and you're going to have a chance to apply whatever you learned in your classroom to the real world and to different sites. So Elevate includes everything from study abroad opportunities to research opportunities to internships. Some great examples are, as a study abroad, you might be going to Italy to study the architecture of the Colosseum or the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Just this fall, they were developing a study abroad to the Dominican Republic to work with cybersecurity and the police force there. Additionally, with our internship opportunities, there's quite an array given that you are so close to Argonne Laboratory and Fermilab. And then additionally, we have medical centers all around Chicago waiting for you to take advantage of those opportunities. Now that we definitely dived into a little bit about colleges, let's dive in into campus life and what it might be to be a student at Illinois Tech. So when you're looking at campus life, as you can see, we have over 150 organizations. They're really organic because they constantly develop by students' interests. So you'll have everything from your major-based groups to your cultural groups to faith-based to even recreational. If you're interested in competitive gaming, note we have esports. We even have an esports arena so that way you can test out some of your skills. And by the way, we have some of the top competitive gamers in the state. So if you're going to play, bring your A game, right? Additionally, we have 17 Division III teams. So if you're looking to play a sport, then here's a great opportunity because we really acknowledge you as a student and you as an athlete, and you won't have to worry about sacrificing class time for practice time or vice versa. Additionally, we have over 600 campus events on the year, and if you're doing the math, that's about 2 per day. So there's a lot of opportunity here. There's a little bit of something for everyone. Now, when we're talking about student life, as I mentioned, we have music, radio, LGBTQ community, Quidditch if you're interested in Harry Potter. Additionally, if you're looking for the fraternity and sorority life, we have 10 different Greek chapters, specifically 8 fraternities and 2 sororities. They have their specific houses, and something to note about those houses are they actually have their own chefs within house. Now, lastly, as I mentioned before, we have esports. So once again, if you're a competitive gamer, that might be something for you. And we have the Bog. What's really fun about the Bog is it's a recreational space filled with arcade tables, pool games, all for your access. So maybe if after a class you want to meet up with friends, that's a great place to do so. And the reason it got its name, the Bog, is because it's actually located on the grounds where a former bog was.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was a great overview of some of the student life opportunities at Illinois Tech. I wanted to just kind of briefly show you all of the different athletic teams that we do have at the university. As Natalia mentioned, we are Division III for athletics. Obviously, this fall is a little bit different when it comes to athletics. For safety reasons, we will not be having a fall sports program at the university. However, our student athletes are still going to get an experience. They're still going to be working with coaches to practice in the off season in a safe environment, but they won't be competing against other teams. Hopefully that changes for the spring semester and our teams are able to get back on the road and represent the institution. So if you're interested in any of these, please do reach out. The Illinois Tech Athletics website is the best resource. As much as Natalia and I might like to play sports on the weekends, we are not coaches. So I always recommend get in contact with your coach for the best possible recruiting information. At Illinois Tech, we do require our students to live on campus. We want you to have the best possible experience. And part of that is living on campus, in our opinion. We have a lot of opportunities for students. You could live in John and Jean Rowe Village. That's that one at the top right there. Kind of looks a little bit like a toaster, in my opinion. If you see those openings on the very tip top of the building, those are a great space. They're actually outdoor patios. So if you live in that building, you can hang out on the patio, watch the fireworks from White Sox Stadium at during the season. Really great opportunity for students there in that building. If you want a more traditional experience, Kasich and McCormick Student Village are going to be more somewhat traditional residence halls. They're going to be, obviously 2 to 3 people per room, and then a shared restroom facility on the building. We are very excited about Kasich Hall. This is a brand new building opening up this fall semester. Our students are moving in as we speak, and they are going to be that first group that are in this building. It was previously designed by Mies Campus, and we've done some updates to bring it a little bit more recent in terms of its approach, which is pretty exciting. If you do happen to live in Chicago or in the close area, you can commute if you're within 20 miles of campus, but you can see most of our students live on. We want you to have that residential experience as much as possible. We do obviously have dining halls, a lot of different dining options throughout campus, so you get your residence and your dining experience at Illinois Tech. And I believe next up, Natalia is going to walk us through the admissions process a little bit.
Yes, let's dive in. So we're going to start with admissions. For your knowledge, we are available on Common App. It's free of cost. And just know we ask for a supplemental essay, and it's why Illinois Tech, and why do you want to study what you want to study. Once we move into the admission process, we are looking for some certain things, right? So firstly, let's start off with the big pandemic news, right? We understand that COVID has had its share of challenges, and as such, students were not able to test for SAT or ACT scores, and as such, we will be moving as test optional for fall 2021. But what do we need for an application? So firstly, we're gonna need that high school transcript, one letter of recommendation, but we accept up to 3, and preferably that one letter of recommendation from someone in the area you're studying in, the Common App, and if you should have a chance to take those tests, please submit those test scores because they will be helpful. But if you don't have a chance, do not worry because they won't be a disadvantage to you. Now, moving forward, let's talk about a little bit what our incoming class looks like. So their profile. When talking about the middle 50%, we are looking, usually those students tend to be the top 10% of their graduation class. For this incoming class of fall 2020, their weighted GPA was anywhere from a 4.0 to a 4.36. Now, please note those students took advantage of any rigor. They had A's and B's in their transcripts. So IBs, APs, honor classes, those are the things we'll be looking at. Additionally, for SAT and ACT scores, our SAT was anywhere from a 1285 to 1370, and ACT was 29 to 32. Please keep in mind, this is the middle 50%. So we do have students that scored lower, and we do have students that scored higher. Typically, when you're looking at scores, students in engineering, science, and computer science will have those typically higher scores. Now, in terms of applications, we are holistic in our review. So we're going to be looking at everything, not just scores, not just grades. We're going to be looking at your essay, letters of recommendation, and looking at you as a whole. Now let's talk about deadlines. So we are rolling admissions. We will continue to accept applications all the way up to the first week of August. But please note, do not do that. The earlier, the better. And one thing I'm going to talk to you about is the priority scholarship deadline. If you have a complete application by November 15th, you are eligible for our priority scholarships. And with that, will be talking more about our scholarships. But, oh, and our college costs. Okay.
Yes.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I was muted while I was talking. So yes, so I want to talk with you a little about college costs as well as scholarships at Illinois Tech. I always think it's important to acknowledge what you see on the screen. Our tuition, room and board and fees is about $65,000 per year. We understand that that is a large number. I went to a private institution myself, so I absolutely understand that. One thing that you should know at Illinois Tech is we are known for being a relatively affordable institution. On the other side of the screen there, you can see we award anywhere between $32,000 to $45,000 to most students when they apply to the institution. You can use a net price calculator to get estimates of what some of these scholarships and costs might be for your individual self, but know that we have outstanding scholarships. We also have pretty generous financial aid. So every student, or well, almost every student, 98% of them, of the students who apply to Illinois Tech are receiving some type of financial aid. Could be anywhere between $10,000 up to full tuition benefits. We use the FAFSA for financial aid consideration, only the FAFSA, no CSS profile for us. Just submit your FAFSA after August 1st of senior year, or I'm sorry, after October 1st of senior year. We'll consider that, and typically around mid-February is when we release our financial aid packages. You might be wondering what might be in a financial aid package at our institution. The biggest and most important part of that financial aid package is your scholarship. You're going to find this out when you apply to the institution. So you're going to hear back from us within about 2 to 3 weeks. We'll let you know if you're admitted, the program you're admitted to, and then we'll let you know your scholarship amount. Most students are going to receive a Henry T. Field scholarship. That's that one you see right at the top. Lowest end is about $10,000 up to $30,000. I would say most students who fall within that profile that Natalia mentioned typically find themselves anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000 in scholarship support. Another thing to know about Illinois Tech is we do have international scholarships. So if you are an international student, you can still get a scholarship at Illinois Tech. Some of the other things you'll see mentioned here, that priority deadline for November 15th, that's the Camera Scholars. That puts you in the running for up to full tuition benefits. It is competitive, obviously, but it's not that competitive that we're only awarding 1 or 2. In fact, we usually award anywhere between about 50 to 70 of those scholarships each year at the institution. Few other scholarships I want to make sure I mention for you. These ones do require a separate application. Everything that was on that last slide was just automatic consideration with your Common App. Now, if you might be somebody who is an architecture student, you might be interested in leadership, you might be one of those esports competitive gamers that Natalia was talking about, we have scholarships to support students like you. Same thing goes for those who are interested in robotics. If you were part of a FIRST or a VEX robotics team during your high school years, we want to hear about that. We want you to come to Illinois Tech and continue that great tradition. We're going to award you a $25,000 scholarship every single year that you apply or that you attend Illinois Tech if you're part of one of those organizations. So definitely think about these special scholarships. Even though it does require a separate application, I promise it's worth it in the end. Can help make that financial aid package a bit stronger. Natalia is going to jump back on and talk with you about our return on investment and sort of why you may want to attend Illinois Tech from a outcomes perspective. And then after that, we'll be taking some questions from the crowd.
Okay, awesome, thanks, Will. Okay, well, good question, right? What is your education going to get you? So when you're looking at the student success and career placement, well, you want an immediate answer and then you want an answer for your future career, right? And how well those earnings are going to be. Well, an immediate answer is upon graduation, over 90% of our students are employed within those first months of graduation, those first 6 months of graduation. So that's really important. Additionally, we have a particular site, so I do encourage you to check it out. It's called the Career Outcomes site, and this will break down particulars about your major, if you've taken internships, where are top employers, where are top locations for our grads. So I strongly encourage you to do that and explore that site a little bit further. But as far as return on investment, we are #1 with financial aid and number 81 in the US when you're looking at mid-career salary earnings. So that's a lot to say. Yes, we do have a higher tuition price, but it will make your education extremely worth it, and it's very helpful in the long run. So now with that, let's talk about opportunity and value. So we are ranked number 36 for best value in national universities, and we are number 2 in upward mobility among highly selective private universities. So once again, that really emphasizes our value, and that emphasizes your opportunities, not only as a student, but beyond, because our graduates have a really good network, and as such, they can use it and you can continue to innovate, collaborate, and explore. Now, let's talk quickly about next steps. So, before we dive into the question and answer portion of our session, if you're interested in learning more about Illinois Tech, I strongly encourage you to visit the campus virtually. So we do have some awesome things happening on our website and our virtual events. One is this virtual tour where our student ambassadors will guide you through the campus and really talk about our architecture as well as the different buildings that you might be studying in. Additionally, you can talk with Will, me, or another counselor on the team and get your specific questions answered. And finally, the last thing is go ahead and submit your applications. Our applications are free of cost, they're open. So now, once again, our application is on Common App, free of cost, and they are open, ready for you to apply. But with that being said, why don't we go ahead and jump into some questions?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to jump back just a few slides. I really quickly went past the dual programs information. So if you want to look at the questions and start to get some ideas of what you may want to answer, I'm going to briefly cover that just because I accidentally went past that a little quickly. So dual admissions, while Natalia is looking at the questions, I want to briefly go over this section for you. So dual admissions is a great opportunity that we have at the university. This is a program that allows you as a high school senior to potentially secure a spot into medical school. next year. Same thing goes for optometry, dental, pharmacy, and law. These are opportunities that allow you to potentially accelerate your programs in some situations. The pharmacy program, for instance, is a 2+3 program, so you'd graduate in 5 years with a PharmD from Midwestern University. If you're interested in any of these programs that you see mentioned on our screen right now, please, please, please follow up with Kaylin Yvonne. She's our admissions counselor who coordinates these programs. There are a lot of very specific application steps with this program, so I definitely want to make sure that you get in touch with her, know all of the specifics, but these are great opportunities for those of you who might be thinking medical, law, pharmacy, or dental. Awesome. And then with that, I will go back to our contact information here on our last slide. So if you do have questions and you don't want to submit them today, you can reach out in the future and submit them to us that way. But Natalia, I'll let you read the questions and we can talk about those ourselves.
Awesome. Well, let's get started. We have a couple international students that are curious about scholarships. So what scholarships do we offer?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as I mentioned in the financial aid slide, for international students, you can receive anywhere between roughly about 10,000 is going to be the lowest, up to about 25 to 30,000 in scholarship support from the institution. So when you're an international student at Illinois Tech, it's fully a merit-based scholarship. So we're just looking at your application strength, and we're basically comparing that to the institutional profile. We're going to see how well prepared you are for that program. We're going to use that for admissions and then also for that scholarship. Because you're an international student at the university, we're not able to award need-based financial aid, unfortunately, but with that merit-based financial aid, anywhere between 10 to 30,000, you can definitely get some pretty strong support. We do also have some resources on our website for outside organizations or outside scholarship funding opportunities that you may also want to consider. So if you haven't been on our website yet, that's a great reason to stop by and check that out.
Okay, awesome. Then another question that we have is, how safe is the surrounding area along with safety of the campus?
Yeah, do you want to cover part of that? And I can jump in if there's anything I want to add.
Sure. So definitely. So when you're looking at safety, I always like to start with safety starts with you primarily. So one, it's always being alert of your surroundings, knowing, walking without headphones in, being super alert. Additionally, here at Illinois Tech, we have some safety procedures in place. So firstly, we have our campus safety, which is always riding around patrolling campus. So you'll see them on bikes. They're very friendly, so feel free to stop by and say hi to them, have a good conversation. Additionally, they'll be in their patrol cars. As far as safety measures, we do have something called emergency poles. So if at any time you feel unsafe, you can press one of those buttons and campus safety will be there within 30 seconds. Now, as a whole, seeing that you are mobile, that you won't only be on campus, we have something called IIT alert system. And this alert system will send alerts when there's power outages, when there's things happening in the neighborhood, when there's situations with the phones. So automatically you'll get a text or a call sent to your phone.
Awesome. Yeah, I think those are some great pointers. I also just like to always stress we are an urban campus, and that importance of being aware of your surroundings is definitely something that is important. When I first moved to Chicago, I came from a bit more of a rural area, so it was a little bit of a transition for me personally, and I work with students from all across the U.S. So it's important to think about where you're moving. We do a lot during SOAR and during orientation time at Illinois Tech to help students get acclimated. If you've never rode public transit before, that's a new experience for you. So one of the sessions during orientation is hosted by our public safety office, just to talk about that, what it's like to be on public transit on a daily basis, if that is a new experience. But know that Illinois Tech definitely takes security of our students, very serious. We want to make sure that this is a safe place for people. And the community around us has also been changing quite a bit over the last few years. I've been at the university for about 6 years. And when I first started, we had a coffee shop, we had Starbucks just off campus, we had a Jimmy John's, but there's starting to be more and more stuff grow up around us. So you're starting to see a little bit more development, which is great as well.
And additionally, in our talking about the surroundings of our campus, we have a police station located a couple blocks away. So you will see a heavy police presence because the station is so close to us.
Great point.
Now, let's talk about the vibe. A lot of students are curious about Illinois Tech's vibe. So do you want to start off and I'll add to it?
Sure, sure. So, Illinois Tech is definitely an interesting place. It's not like every other college campus that you visit. We are an academic bunch. So at Illinois Tech, you're going to find a lot of students who absolutely love to learn, that they are there because, they know they're going to get an outstanding education. The architecture students, for instance, they are known to camp out in Crown Hall, which is the architecture building. They will be there 24 hours straight working on projects sometimes. So it is a place where if you are that type of a person, you can thrive at Illinois Tech because you're going to find other students who are like that. But if you're somebody who wants to connect with others, we're also a very collaborative place. We encourage that through the curriculum, through that iPro course, through some of the other things that we do. So we encourage students to, connect with others. Think about Illinois Tech as a place where you can meet your fellow classmates. Maybe it's your future venture capitalist partner. Maybe it's your co-CEO for that entrepreneurship experience that you're looking for. But it's definitely an interesting place. It's in a lot of ways a one of a kind, in my opinion. So if you get a chance to visit campus in the future, or at least participate in one of our webinars with current students, it's a great way to learn about IIT.
Yes, and we do work hard, but we play hard as well. So there's a lot of different events that happen. One in particular that really hones in that fun but rigorous and challenging aspect of our personalities as a school tends to be the pumpkin launch. And that happens typically in late September, early October, where students from the engineering, Armour College of Engineering gather together and they try to create the best pumpkin catapult or trebuchet they can and launch that pumpkin the farthest. So seeing as we are an urban campus, it's pretty fun to watch because you never know, one day an engineering student might hit it out of the park, literally, and it might be bounced into traffic. So it's fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
But being with that said, how many undergrads partake in research opportunities or study abroads?
Yeah, definitely. Great question. So, at Illinois Tech, research is something you'll find a lot of students participating in. We want you as a student to get that out of classroom experience. That's the reason we started the Elevate office and the reason that we helped fund that program with Elevate scholarships for some students. We really want you to round out those classroom experiences. So it's pretty common for a student to have at least one research or internship experience before they graduate Illinois Tech. I've talked to students. There was a student, Lindsay, who worked in our office for a number of years. She was a dual architecture and architectural engineering student. And by the time she graduated in 5 years, she had done 3 internships over a combination of 2 summers and during an academic year, because she just wanted to explore all of the different opportunities that existed in the architecture field. So she, worked at a small firm, worked at a large multinational firm. So she wanted to kind of see what all existed out there. So that's pretty common for students.
Okay, thanks. Well,
Yeah.
so we have about 3 more minutes and I want to make sure we get to the application questions.
Perfect.
So one of them was, does the IB program help in any way in the admission process? And the answer is yes, we look at IBs. So if you're taking any IB classes, be sure to turn in those scores, those official scores, because that might translate to Illinois Tech credit, which is always helpful. Now, the next question we have is, do we apply directly to the school or is there an undecided major?
Yeah, great question. So if you know what school or what major you want to study at Illinois Tech, absolutely apply to that. It's going to get you started on the right path. If you're undecided, we do have undecided options at Illinois Tech as well. We would ask you to apply to sort of like a grouping of majors. So if you think you might want engineering or CS or engineering or science, just so that way we can make sure we get you started on the right pathway with in terms of your math requirements, because obviously there's a lot of different math in computer science and psychology.
Awesome, cool. And now we can cover one more. So what is the average class size? Well, when you're looking at average class size, it really depends on your major. For your general education classes, it might be anywhere from 40 to 60 students. But as you move further and deeper into your major, they can get small as less than 10. So once again, it's really emphasizing that opportunity to connect with professors, connect with classmates, so that way you have great knowledge and access to all these resources right at your fingertips.
Yeah,
So
great point.
with that, it brings us to 1 minute. So once again, I just want to stress that if you have any other questions, feel free to contact Will and I.
Yeah, definitely. I also want to give a quick plug, if I can, tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, or Central Time. If you are interested, we're doing a panel presentation with a few other institutions about connecting with colleges during COVID. So if you want to learn about that, Lawrence Tech and the Massachusetts Maritime Academy will be doing a presentation with Illinois Tech about some of the ways you can connect with colleges during this fall while things are a bit different than usual.
All right, thanks so much, guys, for spending your evening with us and sharing this great information with the audience. Those who are still online, thank you so much for joining us. A quick survey is going to pop up on your screen after you exit the Zoom webinar. It's 4 questions. We would love to hear your feedback regarding this particular session. And as I mentioned in the beginning, there's sessions happening through Thursday evening hosted by Cachet, and all of the recordings will be available on our website shortly. So whether you're wherever you are in the world, hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, and are staying happy and healthy out there. And once again, thank you so much to Illinois Tech for being here tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.